I actually started Labouré in '76. I did have 3 children. I had some very good and interesting instructors, very old school. But you know what? That has served me well.
So I actually graduated with my degree in English, and I took a job at Mass General in the outpatient infusion unit as a secretary. Just really seeing what the nurses were doing, I just realized this is what I wanted to do. That true patient relationship that they had, I just thought it was a very empowering career.
I worked in the neurosurgical ICU for about 19 years. In order to really care for the person, you had to learn, who is this person I'm caring for? You have to be able to relate to that human being with empathy. They're there, and we're there to take care of them.
Whenever opportunities have been presented to me, I think I've always said yes without thinking out some of the logistics and the details. We come from such a resource-rich country. I felt it was my duty to go to less fortunate places. It was Valentine's Day weekend. I got a call to take the cruise ship passengers that had docked in Japan. My team of 5 was going to fly the COVID-positive patients to Nebraska to the isolation unit. Flew them to Nebraska. I got home. I went into the emergency department. The kids were being homeschooled. My mom was back to work. My dad was working. Whenever I hear, people talk about, oh, we got to spend time with our family, I'm like, everybody in my house went back to work. The emergency room was incredibly, incredibly stressful, incredibly traumatic to work through.
We developed a serious illness conversation program. We contacted patients if, in fact, they would develop COVID-19, what were their wishes, what kind of care would they like, and we coordinated that with their PCPs. I think we outreached 30,000 patients.
So Chelsea, Revere, and Lynn were hotspots. Residents of these communities that couldn't self-isolate or had, high-risk people in their environments, we would bring them to the COVID Inn, the quarantine. We were monitoring them for symptoms, triaging as needed. My experience doing global health definitely made me realize that our own communities next door, there's a lot of work that can be done there. Health disparity was evident from the maybe crowded living situations, or we had an older population caring for smaller children that were now not in school. English was not their primary language, and now they're going to try and homeschool kids. It concerned me, I think, as a parent to really see that you've already got these educational disparities that are only going to widen in situations like this, which was really, really disturbing. Everything about COVID is isolating, from wearing the mask to the lack of school, the lack of socialization. I think that's been like the biggest thing for people. You just felt so isolated, even within your work environment. Healthcare workers, their parents as well, their daughters, their mothers, their, fathers, sons. And, people lost family. There just didn't seem to be an end. A lot of people stepped up into completely unfamiliar levels of care. And it's amazing how they did it. It's amazing how the hospital managed to, up-train nurses.
It has been amazing. Their whole worlds were turned upside down. They may have been on oncology infusion, and the next thing they knew, they were manning a whole COVID floor. There were no complaints, and they gave 100%.
What I'm teaching my children about the world is that the world is a bigger place and that you have an obligation to help.
One of the few good things that has come out of the COVID pandemic is the respect for healthcare workers. They were the people being sent into the rooms, caring for the patients and relaying all the information and all the care. They just showed up and did it.